Welcome to Monday's Mental Mistakes. This week we're looking at the anchoring bias. The anchoring bias is the tendency to be unconsciously influenced by irrelevant numbers when making decisions. That is, we tend to allow unrelated contextual numbers to affect our estimates. The anchoring bias makes us more likely to be subconsciously swayed by irrelevant information, and at the same time, we are unlikely to be able to consider any choice free of its context, regardless of how unrelated that context actually is. Here's a simple example. Suppose you're buying a new car. You check the price of the car that you want at two different dealers, one that is near to you and one that is far away. The near dealer has it for $10,500. The further one for $10,000 flat. That is, there's a difference of $500. Now, would you be prepared to go out of your way for the sake of that $500? Okay, maybe not. I, for example, wouldn't be. However, let's say even if you were, let's say you're prepared to go out of the way for the sake of that saving $500, what is the least amount that you'd be prepared to go out of your way to save? Let's say the near dealer has it for $10,100 and the far dealer has it for $10,000. Is $100 enough for you to make you want to go out of your way to save it? If so, what about $10? What if it was $10,010 at the near dealership and $10,000 flat at the far dealership? Would you still be prepared? If $10, is enough to get you to go out of your way, what about $1? $10,000 and $10,001? 10,000. If that's still enough to make you go out of your way, what if it was 1 cent? $10,000 and 1 cent versus $10,000. What is the least that would get you to go out of your way? Okay, so you've made your decision. For me, it was $500. For you, it might be a different amount. Now, suppose that instead you're trying to buy a new t-shirt and you've got a particular design of t-shirt that your heart is set on. Now, you check, and in your town, there's only two shops from which you can get this t-shirt. One is near to you and one is far away. And for the sake of my own example, the near shop has it for $510. The far shop has it for $10. Now, would I be prepared to go out of my way to get a t-shirt for $500 less? Absolutely. If in the first example you were prepared to go for $500, what was your minimum that you were prepared to go out of your way for? And would it apply in this case? So if you were willing to go out of your way for $100, what if the near t-shirt now is $110 and the far t-shirt is $10? Would you go out to the far dealership to get a $10 t-shirt? Now, if you had two different responses to these two situations, that is, you would go out of your way to get the t-shirt for $500 cheaper, but you wouldn't go out of your way to get the car for $500 cheaper, then congratulations, you've just experienced the anchoring effect. The savings in each case were identical, which is really the only relevant factor here. The fact that you're buying a more expensive, the car, or a less expensive, a t-shirt, item is actually just irrelevant context. But we tend to compare our savings to the price of the item anyway. In this example, we become anchored to the total price, the $10,000 or the $10, and this influences our choices as to what we believe is reasonable to pay. The principal way to counter the anchoring bias is to consciously remove the irrelevant anchor from consideration. So when buying a car, consider the costs of all of the extras as independent purchases, rather than in the context of the overall price. When bidding for items on eBay, consider how much that item is actually worth to you, rather than just what the going rate is for similar items. Research has shown that while we can improve our estimates by taking account of the anchoring bias, we're generally unable to eliminate it entirely just through conscious effort. So to further reduce the anchoring effect, it's actually helpful to conduct our own research and find out more information. So the anchoring bias is particularly pronounced when we have little information about a topic. And so by finding out relevant information, we can actually improve our estimates. For example, salespeople often use the anchoring effect to increase their sale price. A very common method is to list an original price and then a lower sale price. This works by anchoring us to the higher price, making the sale price seem much more reasonable. This can be countered simply by researching the price of the item at other shops to see if the sale price actually is reasonable. And we can further counter the anchoring effect by considering other uses for that money. That is, by asking ourselves, what could I have bought with that same amount of money? What could I buy for the same price? This has the effect of broadening the context of the decision and hence reducing the power of the anchoring effect. In conclusion, the anchoring effect is the tendency to be unconsciously influenced by irrelevant numbers when making decisions. Until next time, may your mental mistakes be minor.